Coming up on The Cut, Ron Desantis has dropped out of the 2024 presidential race, why he quit and who he endorsed.
And OpenAI is partnering with ASU, what this means for student and faculty.
And a fake robocall from President Joe Biden creates chaos at the New Hampshire primary, what the call said and its impact. The Cut starts right now. Welcome back. I'm Shira Bradley.
And I'm Ernie Jimenez. Ron Desantis withdraws from the Republican presidential nomination and is now backing former President Donald Trump, who is looking to reclaim the White House once again. Florida Governor Ron Desantis, once seen as the most threatening foe to Trump in the presidential Republican primary, suspended his campaign on Sunday and is now backing Trump. Cut reporter Kira Sipi is here with the full story. Kira?
Thank you, Ernie. In a turn of events, Florida Governor Ron Desantis has suspended his 2024 Republican presidential campaign, just days before the New Hampshire primary, endorsing former President Donald Trump. Desantis made the announcement in a video on X saying, "We don't have a clear path to victory. I am today suspending my campaign." He also said, "It's clear to me that a majority of the Republican primary voters want to give Donald Trump another chance." Desantis is the third former candidate to endorse Trump after Tim Scott and Vivek Ramaswamy. According to political experts, Desantis struggled to connect with voters. His decision to suspend the campaign came among polls showing him trailing both Trump and former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley in the New Hampshire primary. Desantis then labeled Nikki Haley as a representative of the old Republican guard of yesteryear. At a rally in New Hampshire, Trump set aside previous criticisms to praise Desantis, expressing gratitude for the endorsement. Trump holds a significant lead in the polls for both New Hampshire and South Carolina, raising questions about the course with the Republican nomination. With Desantis out of the race, Nikki Haley emerges as the primary challenger to Donald Trump for the Republican nomination. All eyes are on upcoming primaries to determine the course of the nomination. For the Cut Network, I'm Kira Sipi.
Thank you, Kira. We will keep you updated as we receive more information. At least 25,295 now dead as the death toll continues to rise with the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. Cut reporter Abby Urich is here with more information about a tunnel network beneath Gaza. Abby?
Thank you, Ernie. Every strategic goal of Israel has been recently linked to wiping out the tunnel network beneath Gaza. The Israeli military has been surprised by the depth and quality of the 450 miles of tunnels below them. According to the New York Times, one of these tunnels has been reported to be wide enough to drive a large car inside. Another stretched almost 3 football fields long, hidden underneath a hospital. The Israeli military found a 7-story deep spiral staircase leading to a different tunnel as well. Israeli officials and soldiers who have since been in these tunnels say the scope of the tunnels built by Hamas have more than astonished them. Officials assess there are nearly 5,700 separate shafts leading down to the tunnels. These immense efforts of Hamas to militarize the territory underneath Gaza are not in dispute, nor are the intelligence failures of the Israeli military in undermining the importance of the network to the survival of Hamas. For the Israeli military, the tunnels are a subterranean nightmare and the heart of the preservation of Hamas. For the Cut Network, I'm Abby Jurek.
Thank you, Abby. We will keep you updated as we receive more information.
On Saturday, protesters marched on the Capitol in Phoenix for the National Women's March. A chanting crowd of mostly women gathered to highlight Arizona's battleground state status for abortion rights. The march took place only 2 days before the anniversary of the landmark ruling of Roe v. Wade, which was overturned by the Supreme Court in June 2022, a decision that said abortion rights would be left to states to decide. Organizers of the march said that Arizona as a battleground state was the reason that the Phoenix March was designated as the National March, one of hundreds of events in the country to mark the anniversary of Roe. Some states have since reverted their abortion bans, while Arizona remains up in the air after almost 2 years of legal battle.
OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, announced a partnership with Arizona State University. Starting in February, Arizona State will have full access to the ChatGPT enterprise and plans to use it for coursework, tutoring, research, and more. They plan to build a personalized AI tutor for students, allow students to create AI avatars for study help, and broaden the university's rapid growing engineering course. The partnership has been in works for at least 6 months. In a release, OpenAI Chief Operating Officer Brad Lightcap said the company is, quote, keen to learn more from ASU and to expand the use of ChatGPT by higher education institutions, unquote. ASU is no stranger when it comes to being recognized as #1 in innovation, a leader in research and global impact, and by partnering with OpenAI, they are continuing its mission to change the future when it comes to artificial intelligence.
With complaints of gas prices coming from states across the nation, Arizona is taking it to heart. Here's Cut reporter Tyler Abrams to tell you more about how Arizona is putting more effort into electric vehicles. Tyler?
Thank you, Shai. 21 electric vehicle charging stations are to be constructed across the state of Arizona as part of a bipartisan federal funding initiative to encourage the use of electric vehicles. According to a statement released on the Arizona Department of Transportation website, the new charging stations will be constructed using federal funds from the bipartisan National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Program, or NEVI. An estimated $76 million was allocated to the Arizona Department of Transportation to pay for the construction. The remainder of the cost will be paid for by private companies, ensuring zero financial burdens on the state. As of 2024, ADOT is still seeking bids to complete this statewide project, but are hoping to narrow down their search by April 19th. And by the summer, contracts will be awarded to bidding companies for 2024, with even more EV projects planned for 2025. For the Cut Network, I'm Tyler Abrams.
Thank you, Tyler. We will keep you updated throughout the construction process. Alex Baldwin has been charged for the second time in the fatal Russ shooting. New court documents show that Alec Baldwin has been indicted by a New Mexico grand jury on charges connected to the infamous Russ shooting. Baldwin has now been charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter. The first charge was described as negligent use of a firearm, and the second charge was labeled as an act committed with the total disregard of indifference to the safety of others. Both counts are considered 4th-degree felonies. Baldwin's client maintains that Baldwin is not guilty. Baldwin denied pulling the trigger of the weapon in a previous interview, and charges were dropped. Now there are 2 charges against Baldwin in the indictment. If convicted, he could have up to 18 months in prison and a $5,000 fine.
There is a new vaccine on the rise for the fight against malaria. Reporter Kate Nakamura is here with more on the new program for the dangerous disease. Kate?
Thank you, Ernie. Cameroon is launching the world's first malaria vaccine program for children in hopes to combat severe cases of the disease. According to the World Health Organization, the African region accounts for 95% of the world's malaria deaths, with 78% of the region's deaths being children under the age of 5. Through this vaccine program, Cameroon hopes to vaccinate 250,000 children through 2024 and 2025. Also hoping to expand this vaccine program to other countries in the African region, such as Kenya and Ghana. In total, this program is projected to vaccinate about 6 million children by the end of 2025. The Mosquito-Curex vaccine, which was developed by GlaxoSmithKline, will be used in the rollout of this program. This vaccine requires 4 doses and is about 30% effective in reducing the severity of malaria. With only 15 million doses of the vaccine produced per year, experts are looking to another malaria vaccine to help keep this program up and running. The second malaria vaccine, developed by Oxford University, only requires 4 doses and can produce up to 200 million doses a year. Although the vaccine does not stop the transmission of malaria, it will help to decrease severe cases of the disease in children in the African region, alongside the aid of other preventative measures such as bed nets and insect repellent. For the Cut Network, I'm Kate Nakamura.
Thank you, Kate. We look forward to seeing the progress of the program.
There is a scramble in southwest Iceland due to a volcanic eruption that caused damage to the homes and lives of many. Reporter Alana Goodman is here to give us the details. Alana?
Hello, yes, Shy. A volcano in southwest Iceland erupted with molten lava spreading into a small town and causing homes to go in flames. The volcano erupted in the nearby fishing town of Grindavik on January 14, 2024. Grindavik is approximately 43 miles southwest of Iceland's capital, Reykjavik, and it is the fifth eruption on the peninsula in 2 years. Initially, there was no threat to local citizens of the town and is currently under evacuation orders. However, there was an earthquake a few hours before the eruption began. A spokesperson for Iceland's Civil Protection Agency notified CNN and said it's quite possible for lava to reach the town and damage infrastructure even as it was protected by anti-lava walls, that authorities were tracking the flow. The first time residents were evacuated for an eruption was in November, and Monday night was the second evacuation for the crisis after there were openings on the roads in Grindavik. Only around 10% of the town's citizens have been evacuated. After the eruption, officials increased the risk level. Approximately 100,000 flights were canceled and 2 million people were affected as a result of the 2010 eruption, which was a threat for flight engines and electrical failure. Volcanologist Patrick Allard said that the recent activity could mark a new phase of plate separation that could continue for years, if not decades. Since the Earth's crust is very thin, it's near Iceland's fault line and pressure begins to release. One of the most popular tourist attractions in Iceland is the Blue Lagoon, which has recently closed from the evacuation. Currently, no lives are in danger, but infrastructure might be under threat. For more updates, I'm Alana Goodman reporting for the Cut Network.
Thank you, Alana. We will keep you updated on the situation as it unfolds. A fake Biden robocall told New Hampshire Democrats not to vote. The New Hampshire Attorney General's office is investigating an unlawful attempt at voter suppression after a digital manipulation of the president's voice told voters, quote, "Voting this Tuesday only enables the Republicans in their quest to elect Donald Trump again, end quote. The complaint came after the phone number of a prominent New Hampshire Democrat showed up on the screens of those receiving a call. The robocall message begins with the phrase, quote, "This is a bunch of malarkey," end quote, which is considered one of Biden's more popular phrases. The phone call concludes with a phone number belonging to Kathy Sullivan, the former Democratic Party chair who runs a super PAC supporting Biden in the primary.
Speaking of robots, what do you call a robot's favorite dance?
I don't know. What do you call it?
A Roomba.
That's a good one. It seems like robots are all around us today. So, folks, if you're getting a call from Joe Biden at home, it might just be a robocall. So, thank you for tuning in to the Cut Network.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at @thecut_network, on Twitter at @thecutasU. Thank you and have a good night.